Mr. Gomez, please lead the prayer. Amen. So, good afternoon, class. Okay. Before you sit, please pick up those trash and throw it in the garbage. Please arrange your chair properly. Is there any absent, Miss Secretary? Okay, alright. There's no absent today. So, before we start our topic today, can we have a recall about our tackled topic last time? So, our topic last time is about the life of Dr. Jose Rizal. Who among you knows the right of our Dr. Jose Rizal, no limitangre? Mr. Degala, stand up. Okay. Uh, Mr. Beneventura. Okay. Mr. Kabakoy. Okay. Uh, Mr. Ponciano. Okay. Proceeding to our topic today. Our topic today is about of the light of our General Antonio Luna. Who among you know the General Antonio Luna? Mr. De Castro. Okay, very good. Yes, one of the Philippines' most greatest generals in the history. So, okay, okay. What, Mr. Benaventura? Yes, we will explain that later. So, who is General Antonio Luna? General Antonio Luna was the Philippines' greatest uh, general in the history. So, he was elected by our late president, Mr. Emilio Aguinaldo. Who among you know Mr. Emilio Aguinaldo? Okay. Yes. Mr. Emilio Aguinaldo is our first president of the Philippines. But in some arguments, he is not he is not considered as the first Philippine president. So, why he is not considered as first Philippine president, Mr. Degala? Okay, because we have the father of revolutionary, which is Andres Bonifacio. There are rumors that Mr. Aguinaldo, uh, Mr. Aguinaldo assassinated our Philippine father of revolutionary, Mr. Andres Bonifacio. So, how we what you call that? Why he gonna do that? Because the power. So, if he is the president of Philippines, so yes, that is correct. So we will proceed to our topic today. So our topic for today is the life of Antonio Luna. Antonio Luna was the greatest general ever. So yes, right. Mr. Cabacoy is right. Uh, Emilio Aguinaldo. There's a rumors, but it history proves it's Mr. Aguinaldo was the what you call that, the mastermind of assassination of General Antonio Luna. So how could I say that? So if you watch if you watch the film of General Luna, uh, Mr. Aguinaldo. uh, say that, ay, Mr. Aguinaldo, give a telegram to Mr. Luna to come into Cabanatuan. So, in Cabanatuan, he got killed. So, we will proceed to our topic today. So, Luna was one of the first to see action in the Manila on 13 of August 1898. So, uh, Antonio Luna was the first to see in Battle of Manila, American and Filipino War. So, he was the first general to you can see on the battlefield. So, when the American landed in the troops in the Intramuros since June 1988, 1898, Manila had been surrounded by the revolutionary troops. So, Colonel Luciano Sander Miguel occupied Mandaluyong. So, his comrades, other generals, uh, he, what you call that? He instruct his comrades to occupy the city of Pio, Mandaluyong, Manila, Makati, and Sampaloc. So, Luna thoughts that the Filipinos should enter Intramuros to have joint occupation of the walled city. So, they have a discussion. So, all 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 his comrades, we will they will meet in the wall city called Intramuros. So, but Aguinaldo, heeding the advice of General Wesley Merritt and Commodore late Admiral George Dewey, whose fleet had moored in Manila Bay, sent Luna to the trenches where he ordered his troops to fire on the Americans. After the chase of the following American occupation at the meeting in the Ermita, Luna tried to complain the American officer about the disorderly conduct of their soldiers. So, they have a meeting that uh, they would not start a war if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, uh, they have an agreement that they could not start a war, but the troops of American fire the troops of the Filipinos. So, Mr. Degala, how, if you were in uh, Antonius Luna shoes, what will you do? Okay. Mr. Kabakoy, what will you do if you were Antonio Luna? Okay. Uh, Mr. Ponciano, if you were Antonio Luna, what will you do? Okay. So, now we have a game. So, all of you answered my questions. Have plus points direct to their test. So now we will test. Ah, so on the blank sheet of paper, list down the list down the list down the list down the dates of where what I've said today. So yan. So okay. Okay, all right. Are you all done? Okay. I will call your names one by one. So but before that, I will discuss some to silence Luna. Aguinaldo appointed him as Chief of War Operations. So, on September 26, 1898, he assigned the rank of Brigadier General to Antonio Luna. So, Emilio Aguinaldo assigned the rank of Brigadier General to Antonio Luna. So, what is the Brigadier General? It is the one of the most it is the one highest rank of general in army. So, in quick session, he was made the director of Assistant Secretary of War and Supreme Chief of the Republican Army on 28 September. So, arousing the envy of the other generals who were fighting since the first phase of the revolution. Meanwhile, Luna left that biotic playboys were being thrown his way when all he wanted was to organize and discipline the euthanistic battlefield and ill-trained troops into a real army. So, uh, Luna Luna uses in Tagalog that kamay na bakal term. So, Luna use kamay na bakal for the Philippine troops because if you watch the film of Antonio Luna in Jeta Rock's video, uh, some of the troops was not serious because Luna was only elected by the President Emilio Aguinaldo. There was no voting. There was no voting associated in his ranks. So, uh, Emilio Aguinaldo appointed General Luna for silence, but General Luna have an love in the country. You know what I mean? So he trained these troops. He make it more 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 trainings or like what. So Mr. Degala, was is your question? Yes. Okay, all right. So in in the Philippine American War, there was two parts. Okay. So the two parts is one sided for Emilio Aguinaldo and one sided for Antonio Luna. So Antonio Luna, he has a principle, his own principle, but in Aguinaldo sides, there was another principle. In Aguinaldo side, there faces some of the senators want the American to come into the Philippines because of the money. But General Antonio Luna knows that the American need us for occupation of the Philippines. So General Antonio Luna did not agree for that. So they have they have uh, different principles. So Antonio Luna create his own troops. So that Philippine Philippine army was strong. Seeing the need of the seeing the need for a military school, in October 1898, Antonio Luna established a military school. So it's named as Academia Militar, which was the precursor of the President of Philippine Military Academy. So he appointed Colonel Manuel Bernal Sitchar, a mestizo who was formerly lieutenant serving the civil guard as superintendent. He recruited other mestizo and Spaniard Spaniards who had fought in the Spanish army during the 1896 revolution for training. However, the academy had to be suspended indefinitely by March 1899 due to the American and Philippine War outbreak. So, did you imagine that Mr. Antonio Luna created Mr. Antonio Luna established a military school which is Academia Militar, was named as now Philippine Military Academy. So, he have a love of the country. Okay? Um, yes, Mr. Kabakoy. What is the name of the school that Antonio Luna established? Okay. So, correct. You, Mr. Ponciano, uh, in when the Academia Militar created. Good. So, before we start our test, can review your notes now and I will call you later. Why was Antonio Luna assassinated? So, that was my first question. Why was Antonio Luna assassinated? Yes, Mr. Degala. Excuse me, excuse. Okay, correct. So, why was Antonio Luna assassinated? So, the correct answer, Mr. Degala. So, the guard whose insolence to Luna was the main cause of the assassination. So, it was said arrested, tried by court-martial, and promptly acquitted. Further advice states that by the order of Aguinaldo, purposely insulted Luna and forced a quarrel. So, if you watch the video of J. Taruk, in the battlefield, Filipino soldiers and American have a clash. So, there's no Cavite representative soldiers. So, Antonio Luna immediately go to Cavite and he caught the general of Cavite having sleeping with girls. So, in the in what you call that, in front of her comrades, General Antonio Luna insulted the general. So, uh, did you know Artikulo 1? So, Artikulo 1 said that no one is above the law, even president. So, Antonio Luna uh, was Antonio Luna arrested the general of Kawit Cavite. So, the you know the tribe of Emilio Aguinaldo. He